Hey everyone, imagine for a moment that your mind is a computer. Every thought, every worry, every distraction is a program running in the background, slowly consuming your energy, your clarity, your focus. Now, what if I told you that you could reboot your brain in just 30 seconds? That in half a minute you could shut down the noise, reset your mental state, and step into clarity, confidence, and control. This isn't just a fantasy. It's a process, a simple yet profoundly effective way to reclaim your mind from chaos. And the best part is, it doesn't require meditation for hours. It doesn't demand expensive retreats. And it doesn't rely on sheer willpower. It's something you can do anywhere, anytime, and the results are immediate. The first step in this mental reboot is recognizing the power of your focus. Your brain, much like a computer, becomes sluggish when too many tabs are open. Your thoughts are scattered, your emotions fluctuate, and your productivity drops. But here's the truth, your mind only needs one clear instruction at a time to start working for you. That's why this 30-second technique works so well. It doesn't ask your brain to solve a million problems at once. It simply asks it to pause, reset, and realign with your intention. Start by taking a deep breath. Not the casual inhale you take while walking down the street, but a conscious, intentional breath. Fill your lungs fully, hold it for a second, and then exhale slowly. As you do this, imagine every tension, every worry, every distracting thought leaving your body. This is the first reset. Your brain thrives on oxygen and rhythm, and this deep breath signals to your nervous system that it's time to let go, to pause, to reboot. Breathing in this way for just a few cycles will already start to clear the mental fog. Next, shift your attention to your posture. Many people underestimate the connection between how they hold themselves and how they feel. When you slump, when your shoulders curl forward, when your head droops, your brain receives a subtle signal of defeat, fatigue, and low energy. Stand tall, shoulders back, chest open. Feel your spine extend. Feel your head balanced above your body. This simple adjustment sends a surge of confidence and alertness to your nervous system. Within seconds, your brain begins to recognize that you are ready, capable, and in control. Now, engage your senses intentionally. Look around you. Notice 3 things you can see clearly, 3 things you can hear, and 1 thing you can touch. This process pulls your mind out of the swirling loop of what ifs and should haves and grounds it in the present moment. Neuroscience tells us that grounding the senses is one of the fastest ways to reset your brain's stress response. It interrupts the automatic negativity loops and allows you to return to the present with clarity and purpose. The 4th step is mental scripting. In this phase, you give your brain a clear command. You might say internally, I am calm, I am focused, I am in control, or I release what I cannot change and I embrace what I can. These affirmations are not empty words. They are precise signals that direct your neural pathways. The brain responds to repetition and intention. When you repeat these statements with conviction, even for 30 seconds, you activate neural circuits associated with confidence, clarity, and resilience. You are literally rewiring your brain for success in real time. Another critical element of this reboot is visualization. Picture yourself handling a current challenge with absolute composure and effectiveness. See yourself responding rather than reacting. See yourself calm where others might panic, clear where others are clouded, decisive where others are hesitant. Your brain doesn't distinguish sharply between real experiences and vividly imagined experiences. By practicing this mental rehearsal, you are preparing your neural pathways to act effectively when the actual situation arises. Finally, connect this reset to your body. Stand still, feel your feet on the ground, and acknowledge the energy flowing through you. Wiggle your toes, stretch your hands, rotate your shoulders. Movement combined with focused breathing, posture, sensory grounding, affirmation, and visualization completes the reboot. In less than 30 seconds, you have shifted your physiology, your focus, and your emotional state. You have moved from reaction to action, from overwhelm to clarity, from fatigue to energy. The beauty of this practice is its universality. It doesn't matter if you're in a stressful meeting, dealing with an urgent deadline, or facing a personal crisis. Those 30 seconds are enough to reclaim your brain from the chaos, to step into a state of control, and to perform at your highest level. Over time, practicing this daily strengthens your brain's ability to reset naturally. You'll notice that moments that used to drain you now barely touch you. Stress no longer dominates your decision-making. Your focus becomes sharper, your creativity flows more freely, and your confidence becomes unshakable. Remember, Your brain is a living system. It responds to signals, patterns, and routines. Every time you choose to reboot consciously, you are teaching your brain a new default behavior: calm, clear, and purposeful action. You are building resilience that cannot be taken away by circumstance. You are reclaiming control over your mind, your emotions, and ultimately your life. And it only takes 30 seconds. Next time you feel overwhelmed, scattered, or stressed, don't reach for external solutions or distractions. Reach for this 30-second reset. It is immediate, it is effective, and it is within your power. This is not just a technique, it is a mindset, a declaration, a commitment to yourself. You're choosing to be intentional with your mental state. You are refusing to be hijacked by stress, negativity, or distraction. You are activating a level of focus and energy that allows you to perform, to thrive, and to excel. And as you repeat this practice day after day, you will discover that your mind, once cluttered and chaotic, becomes a powerhouse of clarity, creativity, and confidence. You are not just surviving your day, you are mastering it, one 30-second reboot at a time. The first step in rebooting your brain is recognizing the incredible power of your focus. Because focus is not just a skill, it is the foundation in every action, every decision, every achievement in your life. When your attention is scattered, when your mind is pulled in multiple directions at once, it becomes a battlefield. Every unfinished task, every nagging worry, every minor distraction acts like a tiny weight, slowly eroding your clarity, your energy, and your effectiveness. The truth is that your brain can handle only a limited number of inputs at any given moment. Just like a computer, when too many programs are running, it starts to slow down, it overheats, it struggles to perform even the simplest operations. But the incredible part is that your brain also has an astonishing ability to reset itself the moment you give it a single clear directive. The moment you choose where to place your focus, you reclaim control, and that is where transformation begins. Think about the times you've felt overwhelmed. It might have been a morning filled with back-to-back meetings, emails piling up, texts buzzing, or a series of personal challenges pressing on your mind. In those moments, your focus is fractured, jumping from one thought to another, leaving you tired, anxious, and reactive. But what if you could stop all of that in an instant? What if you could tell your mind, enough, reset, focus on what truly matters right now? That's the power of intentional focus. It is the difference between being a passive participant in your life and becoming an active creator of your reality. By directing your attention deliberately, you initiate a cascade of neurological responses that signal to your brain to slow down the unnecessary noise, release stress, and prepare for clarity and action. To harness this power, you must first understand that your focus is like a spotlight. Wherever you shine it, energy flows. When your attention drifts to negative thoughts, doubts, or regrets, you feed those mental patterns, making them stronger and more persistent. But when you deliberately focus on a productive, positive, and purposeful target, you strengthen those neural pathways, making clarity and calmness your default state. The science behind this is straightforward. Neurons that fire together wire together. Every time you choose focus over distraction, every time you redirect your attention with intention, you are literally rewiring your brain to respond with composure, efficiency, and resilience. The practical side of this is deceptively simple, yet profoundly effective. It begins with a pause, a conscious decision to step out of the automatic loops of stress and chaos. In that pause, you give yourself the space to direct your attention intentionally. Even just one slow, deep breath signals your nervous system to shift from a state of tension to a state of readiness. Then, by aligning your posture, engaging your senses, and repeating a focused affirmation, you anchor your brain in the present moment. Within seconds, your mental fog begins to clear. You stop reacting, you start responding. You are no longer at the mercy of external pressures or internal turmoil because you have taken command of the one resource that governs everything in your life, your focus. This is not just a momentary fix, it is the cornerstone of mental mastery. When you practice this consistently, your brain becomes more agile, more resilient, and more precise. You notice that stress no longer overwhelms you the way it used to. Distractions that once derailed your productivity now barely touch you. Decision-making becomes faster, clearer, and more aligned with your goals. By recognizing the power of focus and learning to harness it, you are not just rebooting your brain, you are transforming the very way you interact with the world, shaping your reality through clarity, intention, and control. The ability to control your focus is, in essence, the ability to control your life. Every great accomplishment, every act of creativity, every step toward personal mastery begins with a single choice. Where will you place your attention? When you choose focus, even for just 30 seconds at a time, you are activating a chain reaction in your brain that improves clarity, emotional stability, and productivity. And as you continue to exercise this power, it becomes more than a technique. It becomes a way of life, a state of being where clarity, calmness, and purpose are your default settings, and chaos no longer dictates your day. The second key to rebooting your brain in seconds is learning the incredible power of your breathing, because the way you breathe directly communicates with your nervous system, influencing your energy, focus, and emotional state. Most people go through life taking shallow, unconscious breaths, completely unaware that every inhale and exhale carries a signal to their body and mind. When stress hits, when anxiety rises, or when the mind becomes cluttered, your breathing automatically shortens, your chest tightens, and your heart rate increases. This triggers a cascade of responses in the brain. Cortisol levels rise, clarity diminishes, and the mental fog takes over. But the remarkable part is that by controlling just one thing, your breath, you can interrupt this cycle instantly and signal to your brain that it's time to reset, refocus, and regain control. Breathing is the switch that toggles your brain from chaos to clarity, from reaction to calm action. The first step in harnessing this power is awareness. Most of us breathe automatically, mechanically, without thinking, letting our breath mirror the tension in our bodies. The moment you recognize that your breathing has become shallow or erratic, you open the door to change. By taking a conscious deep breath, you are not just inflating your lungs, you are sending a profound message to your nervous system. It's time to pause, to reset, to align. This simple act begins to slow the heart rate, reduces stress hormones, and allows the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for decision-making and focus, to come online. In just a few cycles of mindful breathing, the mental clutter that has been clouding your mind begins to clear, and your brain prepares itself for clarity, creativity, and calm action. The technique itself is simple but astonishingly effective. Inhale deeply through your nose, filling your lungs fully, allowing your abdomen to expand as your diaphragm engages. Hold the breath for a brief moment, just a beat longer than usual, and then exhale slowly and deliberately, releasing tension with each outgoing breath. Imagine that with every exhale, your worries, fears, and distractions are leaving your body. The rhythm of this breath is more than physical. It is a signal to your brain that the environment of stress no longer has control over you. You are choosing a new environment, a state of calm, of focus, of intentional presence. Beyond the mechanics, there is a neurological truth to this practice. Conscious breathing activates the vagus nerve, a major pathway connecting your brain to your body. Stimulating this nerve reduces stress, improves emotional regulation, and promotes a state of mental clarity. This means that with just a few deep breaths, you can literally reset your brain chemistry, shifting from fight or flight to rest and digest, from overwhelm to composure. The science is clear. Your breath is a bridge between your body and mind, a tool that allows you to take immediate control of your mental state, no matter what chaos surrounds you. But the power of breath goes beyond stress relief. It is a launch pad for focus and energy. When your breathing is deep, steady, and intentional, oxygen floods your brain, fueling neurons, increasing alertness, and sharpening cognition. Suddenly, decisions that felt impossible become clear, challenges that felt overwhelming feel manageable, and creativity that felt blocked begins to flow. In that moment, your mind is rebooted. You are no longer trapped in reactive patterns. You are operating from intentional, conscious control. This is why elite performers, athletes, speakers, and leaders consistently use breathing as a tool to reset, refocus, and optimize their performance in high-pressure moments. Integrating this into your daily life is simple. You don't need special equipment or hours of meditation. Anytime you feel tension rising, anytime your mind begins to spiral, take 30 seconds to focus on deep, conscious breathing. With each inhale, invite clarity. With each exhale, release tension. Pair it with a short mental affirmation such as I am calm, I am focused, I am capable. And your nervous system immediately aligns with your intention. Over time, your brain becomes trained to respond to the signal automatically, and you develop the ability to reboot in seconds, regaining focus, energy, and composure whenever needed. Breathing is more than life support, it is mind support. Every time you harness it, you teach your brain that you are in control. You can redirect energy, shift focus, and reclaim clarity instantly. This simple yet profound practice transforms stress into power, chaos into calm, and distraction into laser-sharp focus, proving that sometimes the most effective tools for change are the ones you carry with you every single moment of your life. The third key to rebooting your brain in seconds is the practice of visualization, because your brain doesn't distinguish sharply between what is real and what is vividly imagined. Every time you picture a successful outcome, every time you mentally rehearse a situation in which you remain calm, focused, and in control, you are actually training your neural pathways for real-life performance. Most people underestimate this power. They think visualization is merely fantasy or wishful thinking, but neuroscience proves otherwise. Neurons that fire during mental imagery are the same ones that fire when performing the action physically. In essence, your brain learns from your imagination just as much as it learns from your experiences. That is why a single 30-second visualization session can profoundly alter your mental state, setting the stage for clarity, confidence, and decisive action. Visualization begins with stillness. In those few seconds when you pause, breathe deeply, and clear your mind, you create a mental canvas. Onto this canvas, you project exactly what you want your brain to experience. See yourself handling a challenging situation with complete composure. Imagine the stress, the tension, the uncertainty surrounding you, but picture yourself moving through it with clarity and precision. Feel your shoulders relax, your spine straighten, your mind sharpen. Hear your own voice, calm and confident, your words deliberate and effective. Engage your senses fully. See, hear, and feel the environment of success. The more vivid, detailed your visualization, the more powerful its impact. You are training your brain not just to imagine success, but to experience it as if it is happening in real time. This practice works because your brain cannot easily differentiate between imagination and reality. When you visualize successfully navigating a challenge, your neural circuits fire as though you are actually performing those actions. Your brain begins to recognize the state of calmness and focus as attainable, familiar, and natural. This is the reason elite performers, from athletes to speakers to business leaders, rely on visualization. They don't just prepare physically, they prepare mentally. They see themselves succeeding, anticipate obstacles, and rehearse responses, so that when the moment arrives, their brains automatically activate the correct patterns. Visualization transforms uncertainty into confidence, hesitation into decisiveness, and fear into focus. The real magic happens when visualization is combined with controlled breathing and focused attention. As you take deliberate breaths, each inhale brings in clarity and energy, and each exhale releases tension and doubt. While doing this, imagine the challenge before you and see yourself responding in the most optimal way. Your brain integrates these physiological cues with the mental images, creating a synchronized state of calm, focus, and readiness. Within seconds, you shift from reactive chaos to proactive control. Your nervous system stabilizes, your heart rate balances, and your mind becomes a tool of precise action rather than a battlefield of scattered thoughts. Visualization also empowers you to break habitual patterns of negative thinking. Most people spend much of their mental energy replaying fears, doubts, and past mistakes. This constant loop reinforces anxiety and undermines confidence. But by intentionally visualizing success, composure, and clarity, you interrupt those loops and replace them with constructive, empowering patterns. You are literally rewiring your brain to prioritize solutions over problems, calm over panic, and clarity over confusion. Over time, this becomes automatic. Your brain begins to default to focus, confidence, and composure because it has practiced these states repeatedly, even if the external circumstances remain challenging. Another powerful aspect of visualization is its ability to create momentum. When you picture yourself taking the right action, feeling the right emotion, and achieving the desired result, your brain generates subtle but real motivational signals. Chemicals like dopamine rise in anticipation of success, energizing you and increasing persistence, creativity, and problem-solving ability. You don't just feel more capable mentally, you actually become more effective in the moment. This is why even a brief 30-second visualization can reset your mental state, sharpen your decision-making, and energize your body to perform at its best. Visualization is more than imagination. It is preparation, rehearsal, and alignment. Every time you engage in this practice, you are teaching your brain that calm focus, clarity, and confident action are not only possible, they are natural. You are literally setting your mind up for success, rewiring neural pathways, and training your nervous system to respond optimally under pressure. In a world filled with distractions, stress, and constant mental noise, visualization gives you the power to pause, reset, and step into the day with clarity, control, and unstoppable momentum. When you step back and look at what you've just learned, it becomes clear that rebooting your brain isn't about complicated systems or hours of effort. It's about taking control of your focus, your breath, and your mind in the moment. Each of these steps, directing your attention, using your breath to reset, and visualizing success, works together like a master key that unlocks clarity, calm, and unstoppable performance. Life will always throw distractions, stress, and challenges in your path, but the power to respond intentionally, to reclaim your mental clarity, and to act with purpose is in your hands. The focus you cultivate allows you to filter out the noise and zero in on what truly matters, making your thoughts a tool instead of a liability. The breath you control becomes a reset button for your nervous system, giving you energy, composure, and balance even under pressure. The images you create in your mind program your brain for success, teaching it to respond with confidence and precision when it matters most. Together, these practices aren't just techniques. They're a lifestyle, a way of operating in the world that turns chaos into calm, distraction into mastery, and doubt into certainty. The truth is, the brain is infinitely adaptable. Every time you practice these steps, every time you take even 30 seconds to reset intentionally, you are rewiring your mind for better performance, deeper focus, and higher resilience. You are proving to yourself over and over again that you are not a passive observer of life. You are the architect of your mental state, the pilot of your thoughts, and the master of your actions. The challenges that once overwhelmed you now become opportunities for growth, clarity, and decisive action because you have trained your brain to operate from a place of control rather than chaos. And as you carry this practice into your daily life, you begin to notice something remarkable. Stress no longer dominates your day, distractions no longer derail your progress, and moments of clarity, calm, and focus become your new normal. You start to live with intention, respond with wisdom, and act with purpose because you have given yourself the tools to control your most powerful asset, your mind. Life will continue to demand your energy, test your patience, and challenge your focus. But now you hold the ultimate advantage, the ability to reboot, reset, and reclaim your mental power whenever you choose. This is the essence of mastery, and it's available to you in every moment. Every 30-second reset, every intentional breath, every clear visualization is a declaration that you are not at the mercy of circumstance. You are in control, you are capable, and you are ready to perform at your highest potential every single day. Take these tools, make them your daily habit, and watch how your life transforms. Step into your focus, embrace your calm, and visualize your success because the moment you decide to take control of your mind, you take control of your life, and nothing can stop you now.